The Battle of Alasay, codenamed Operation Dinner Out, was a military operation carried out by French troops of the Chasseurs Alpins' 27e Battalion and the Afghan National Army 1st Kandak between 14 and 23 March 2009. Marine Embedded Training Team 6-4 as well as other U.S. units provided air support, both with attack helicopters and A-10 and F-15E strike aircraft. The operation enabled the construction of 2 bases for the Afghan Army in the Alasay Valley, which had been guerrilla control since 2006. Context: the sector of Alasay Valley, in Chasseurs Province, had been under guerrilla control since 2006. The ISAF decided to regain control of the sector. Given the proximity of 2 ISAF bases near the village of Nadrib and Intagab, the French Groupement Tactique Interarmes de Chasseurs, harbored there, was tasked with the mission. The GTIA is composed of the 27th Chasseurs Alpins Battalion, elements of the 93rd Mountain Artillery Regiment, elements of the 2nd Foreign Engineering Regiment, elements of the 4th Chasseurs Regiment, elements of the 28th Communication Regiment, the Mountain Commando Group. The 4th Company of the 27 RC received the call sign Vert. It was composed of several sections, labeled Vert 20, Vert 30, Vert 40. The 2nd Company received the call sign of Jonquil. The plan envisioned construction of 2 outposts for the Afghan Army. The battle, the 14th of March at 4:30. The 4th Company of the 27 BCA departed Nadrib in 4 CH-47 Chinook helicopters and occupied heights commanding the southern region of Alasay Valley, with Vert 10 directly above the points where the outposts were to be built, Vert 20 and Vert 30 covering the surrounding, and Vert 70 threatening the access path from the south. Around the same time, elements of the Afghan Army, with several armored vehicles and 2 battle tanks, approached their destination. They were supported by the 2nd Company of the 27 BCA and by the GCM. Over the following hours, 2 mortar sections of the 93 RAC, labeled Vert 60 and Jonquil 60, were installed south of Alasay Valley. As forwards elements were now out of range for support from Tagab base. At 7:17, elements of the Afghan Army came under fire. Jonquil 40 answered in kind, firing several Milan missiles. 4 minutes later, Jonquil 20 found itself under sporadic Dragunov fire, which stopped to reoccur half an hour later, without causing casualties. Vert 30 was under fire, and called for air support, provided at 800 by elements of the U.S. Air Force. Around the same time, 3 AMX-10 RC moved to the village of Shekut. Meanwhile, the 2nd Company of the Afghan Army refused to move forwards. The captain was relieved of duty, the soldiers dispatched to other companies, and the 1st Afghan Company took over, moving towards Alasay Valley. It arrived 5 minutes later with the GCM and the AMX-10 RC, only to come under fire from 2 guerrilla units 600 meters away. These positions were pounded by the armored unit and put out of action, allowing Jonquil 30 to close in and destroy it with small arm fire. At 8:45, Jonquil 20 moved to support Jonquil 30 and provide assistance to 2 wounded of the Afghan Army. At the same time, guerrilla elements stormed the positions of Vert 30 and Vert 20, while U.S. helicopters pounded caves occupied by the guerrilla. At 9:30, Jonquil 30 sustained sniper fire, prompting the deployment of 2 20mm equipped VABC-20 to complement Jonquil 20 and 30. During the following hours, several sporadic engagements took place around Alasay. The French sustained their first casualty at 12:51, when a Milan operator of Vert 30 came under Dragunov fire and was wounded by shrapnel after the launcher was hit. The soldier was evacuated to Bagram at 14:41. Between 1500 and 1530, guerrilla elements attempted to infiltrate between Vert 20 and Vert 30, but were prevented by small arms fire and air support. An apparent calm was then restored, though women were seen evacuating the sector. At 1800, guerrilla units showed themselves all around Alasay and stormed the village, while at the same time, Vert 20 and Vert 30 were also attacked. Fighting lasted for 1 hour before the guerrilla broke contact under the cover of a hail of RPGs. One of the rockets hit a VABC-20, killing the driver, Corporal Nicholas Belder. Over the following hours, guerrilla elements retreated to the east, while the ISAF forces strengthened their positions. The dead and 5 Afghan Army wounded were evacuated at 22:10. The 15th of March from midnight, Vert 20 and 30 left the sector on foot, supported by the GCM, and rejoined Tagab. At 6:47, Jonquil 30 destroyed a guerrilla group attempting to storm Alasay. At 700, elements of the Afghan army arrived on BMP vehicles. 1 hour later, construction of the outposts began. Vert 20 and 30 departed around 1400. 16 and the 17th of March. Late in the evening of the 16th, Vert 10 and Vert 70 departed by helicopter. The next day at 1800, the outpost of Alasay was completed and construction of the second outpost began in Shekut. Aftermath. After the fighting had ended, several guerrilla groups were persuaded by local tribal elders to lay down their arms, in exchange for amnesty and cash incentives. While their long-term commitment to peace remains doubtful, the coalition offensive in Alasay, along with the government-sponsored reconciliation process, is said to have caused a clear improvement in the security situation, according to local leaders.